Welcome to another Coach's CatChat. Joe Stewart here with head Linfield women's basketball coach Casey Bunn Wilson. The week of the Northwest Conference Tournament after your team finished it out this season with a senior night win to get to 19 wins, tie the program records. You clinched a few games ago to get to the postseason for the first time since 2019. We knew that this was going to be this is where things were trending. You guys got it started off great this year, and kind of the league sorted itself out as the top half and the bottom half. So we knew this was coming, but as you've gotten through this last weekend of the regular season, just how does it feel to complete this fantastic regular season and be heading back to the playoffs for the first time since 2019?
Feels really good. We're very appreciative of the position that we're in. Throughout the season and during the season, we just took one game at a time and tried not to think about all the other fun stuff. And I think that's where our focus has been. A lot of the time is just next game, next play mentality, next game. We're focused on today and how we can get better, and that's just how we've kind of approached the year.
3 years ago, you were coming off back-to-back one-win seasons, and now here you are contending in one of the toughest Division III women's basketball conferences in the country. I know it's only been a couple days since the regular season wrapped, but have you taken any time to kind of sit back and reflect on what this last few years have been like, culminating in this year, how you've grown as a coach and how you've been able to get this program to a place it really hasn't been before in a long time here just over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think it's testament to the players. They were all here during that time, so they felt that pain. But it's a testament to them and the work that they've put in the last 2 years. I mean, those juniors, that was Jill's freshman year, then the juniors' freshman year. So they've just grown a ton from that on and off the court. They've kind of realized the work that they need to put in to be contenders in this conference. And I owe it to them. It's all them. We've recruited differently. We've strategized, and my assistant Jeremy and I have game schemed and tried to put out our strengths and all that. But it's them that's doing the work in the off season and coming in ready to go and in shape and coming in confident.
You mentioned Jeremy, your assistant coach, Coach Vandenborg, Coach V, as the girls call him. Talk about the role he's played in helping bring this program to where it can be at the top of the Northwest Conference. Joined you on your staff right around that time that you kind of had some struggling seasons there, and this helped you bring it back. Yeah,
he's played a huge role. I mean, anybody that knows him knows that he's a basketball junkie and one of the best recruiters around. And so he knows everybody, where they're going, is consistent and just really good basketball mind. So he's helped us a ton.
Another person on your bench this year that I think has had a contribution, Ella Copeland. When we found out that she had the injury in the preseason and wouldn't be playing this year, I think everybody all of a sudden kind of maybe limited their expectations a little bit for what the ceiling could be, as with how good she was last season as just a sophomore. Obviously, Allie Mead has been a revelation at point guard this year, leading the league in assists, but with Ella, she was such a big piece of getting this team back to being competitive the last two seasons. And she has a great basketball mind as well. And before the season started, you told me, I knew weren't going to have to hire a third coach here. But kind of what have Ella's contributions been to this team, even without being able to step on the floor this year?
Yeah, devastating loss with Ella getting hurt early on. We didn't think we'd end up where we are with the adversity that we faced at the beginning of the year. But she's just been incredible. I mean, she was voted as captain still after her injury, so that just shows, the impact that she has with her teammates, and she's continued to be a leader and positive, and, she's doing some weekly mental training, journal prompt things with our team that we work really hard on, and so she's just continued to be impactful, and we're excited to have her back.
The mental side, obviously, in a year like this, certainly comes into play, especially when you're coming off losing seasons. What have you kind of seen out of your team's evolution in that aspect over the course of the year?
I think the positives that have come out from having seasons like that, 1-24, you start focusing on other things than wins and losses, and really the little things are the big things, as we know in sports. And so we just focus on how to be impactful. What is your we call it mental playlist in it. We got that from Zach Brandon, who visited, and we've really taken that on. Is like, what are you telling yourself after mistakes? How do you approach games? How are you preparing for games? And what is your positive self-talk, or what does your self-talk look like? And so all of that kind of stuff, as we know now, and as it's getting less and less taboo, that's such a huge part of the game. And that's the one thing that I felt like we've grown so much in the last 3 years, was that part of it. It's like handling adversity, getting through those really hard times when it's kind of like embarrassing, like, gosh, we haven't won any, or, you know, we've been this close in all these games but haven't gotten over that hump. Like, you take a lot of hits for those seasons like that. And so just the growth that we've shown through all of that, to come back and have seasons like this, it just shows that it's paid off, and they're bought in, and they're paying attention to what we're telling them, and they're taking it on themselves and taking ownership in this program.
We've talked a lot about Jillian Landis the last few weeks, with good reason. She's had a terrific senior season to close out a terrific career. Ended the regular season with a double-double on senior night in the big win over Whitworth. Obviously, you mentioned her freshman year was one of those one-win seasons. What has impressed you about her, the way that she's seen this through in an era when a lot of athletes maybe choose to hit the exit there, and has continued being a huge part of this team and really leading the team to contention?
Yeah, I'm really proud of her. Thinking about her freshman year till now, she's had a huge growth mindset, and she's had an incredible journey to get her this far, and I'm really proud of the adversity that she's gone through on and off the court, and team dynamics, and all the things that, you know, she's helped build and continue to build and maintain within our program. It's been really cool to see that, and then for her to have such a successful season is just icing on the cake.
Looking at this weekend, heading back to Walla Walla. Interesting Northwest Conference tournament field. Puget Sound, a young group, but always going to be in the mix. George Fox, one of the great programs in this league, back contending as well, as they've been rebuilt. And, of course, Whitman, number 5 team in the country, unbeaten in conference play this year. Your team hung with them pretty well twice. Led them going into the fourth quarter up at their place in January. Certainly a disappointing outcome on Friday night, but we all know that game was a lot closer than maybe the final score indicated. We know about the basketball things, and at this point, when you've seen them twice, probably some of that goes out the window even. Everybody knows the other team. You talked about the mental side with your team this year. What does the mentality have to be going into this tournament and playing Whitman in the first round on their home floor?
We got to come in confident and believing that we can win and that we can compete, and that's really what it comes down to, just believing in it, being really precise in executing our game plan. There's not a lot of room for error, but coming in confident and playing to win and not playing not to lose. That makes sense.
Wildcats are headed to Walla Walla, Washington for the Northwest Conference Tournament for the first time since 2019. Looking for the program's first ever 20-win season, looking for the program's first ever playoff win, and looking for a first-round upset of the Northwest Conference regular season champion Whitman Blues. We'll have the 2 and 3 seed playing up in Walla Walla at 6 o'clock. Linfield and Whitman will take the court at 8 in the first round of the Northwest Conference Tournament. We'll have live audio coverage for you from Walla Walla on the LSN. Coach, thanks for the time. Congrats on a great season.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you in Walla Walla.
All right, see you there.